Has it ever happened to you that you created a beautiful project and you showed it to your supervisor, you showed it to your parents, you showed it to your teacher? Somewhere deep down, you were expecting a little praise, a little appreciation to say something nice about your project. If they say it, your ego is boosted. You feel so happy. You feel like you're on cloud nine. You feel amazing. But sometimes you do approach people who are not in the right mind and may not end up appreciating you or your work in the way that you like to. What happens then? You feel a little sad and you feel like, maybe I could have done a better job. Maybe there's something that is just not right. And you start overanalyzing and doubting the work that you have created. If this has ever happened to you, or if you have ever done this, then you may be trying to seek external validation. So today we're going to talk about external validation because this is something that I have been working on and I'm still working on. I don't think that I'm over trying to seek external validation, but it is work in progress. And I've been learning a lot of cool things as I try to read books and listen to content on YouTube or talk to my peers, talk to my elders about trying to not seek so much of external validation and ground my idea of self-concept and worth in myself. So let's start with the basics. What do I mean by external validation? So basically, it is when you are relying on others or sources outside of you to confirm or reaffirm the feelings, thoughts, and actions you have. And most importantly, when you're relying on others for your idea of self-worth. If we want to work on our excessive need to rely on others to affirm our ideas and feelings and action and our idea of our self-concept, we have to understand the idea of self-worth and what is the source of our self-worth. When we have clarity on where our self-worth comes from, all of these things are easier to answer and to work on. Seeking external validation is in and itself not a bad thing because it is natural. It is natural as human beings to care for others. We as Homo sapiens have always been in tribes, in communities, and that's how we grow and flourish. It is natural for us to try to seek validation for who we are and what we do. But we need to understand that when it gets to a certain point, it can hurt us, and we don't want to get there. So according to this article on the University of North Carolina website, self-worth is the internal sense of being good enough and worthy of love and belonging from others. That's why I'm saying that it's natural to care for others because we naturally crave love and belonging from others, being human beings, being part of communities. But when we overly rely on others' ideas and others' validations and affirmations for who we are and whether we are worthy of the things around us and whether we are good enough, that can start to hurt us because we have no control over how people perceive us. All we have control over who we think we are and how we see ourselves in this big world. Recently, when I was confused about whether I'm on the right path or not, and whether the decisions that I'm making for my life and my career are good, because I was not finding support or encouragement for me to be on this path. If anything, the situations around me were making me question about what I'm doing. So I went to my mentor for some advice, and this is what he said. Before you can start thinking about whether you're on the right career path or not, whether the decisions you're making right or wrong, it's important to have clarity about the foundations of your life. Foundations meaning you need to be really, really clear about what you value the most in life. So the questions that we need to answer are, what do we value most in life? What are the kinds of people and relationships we value the most in our lives? What values and beliefs we hold dear to ourselves, like honesty, transparency, integrity. What are the entities that are important to us? If you're religious, how important God is to you. What you believe you are good at. What do you think are your skills and talents? When was the last time you felt good about something that you did? When you answer these questions, you will be easily able to make a list of things that you like and the things that you don't like. And when you have this clear list of things, no matter what situations you get into, circumstances, or how people react to you, you will know how to respond to those situations. Because only things that are on your like list, only things that are on your most value list will be something that will bother you. Anything that does not fall on that list won't bother you and won't be affecting your idea of your self-worth. Others' opinions and ideas and perceptions of you will automatically become less important to you. You need to remember that you are the only constant in your life. People will go away, situations will go away. No matter your closest friend, your partner, your parents, they're not going to be there with you all the time. You are the only one who is going to be with you all the time. And when your idea of self-worth and your self-concept comes from within you, you won't need others all the time to validate your existence. I mean, what kind of life would it be if we are constantly looking to others to feel that we belong here and that we are in the right place? It is so exhausting. It is never ending. It's a cycle of chaos and doubt, and it's never ending, and it's so hurtful. And you can put a stop to it when you ask yourself the right questions. So there are 3 main points that I would love for you to take away from this video. Number 1 is that people's opinion of you doesn't make you a good or bad person. I can't even count the number of times that I have caught myself in an endless cycle of rumination after an awkward moment with a stranger or my friend or like someone I know or like someone at my work, or like something stupid or I said or did, and I am just ruminating and maybe call my mom and tell her how stupid I feel. I just start judging myself from their lens and thinking that, oh my God, they must think I'm such a bad person. And then what I was going through was fear of being misunderstood. I was trying too hard to portray a good version of myself. I was trying to protect my image so much that I wanted to make sure that people think about me in a certain way. But then I started to realize that I can't control how people think about me. And for people who meet me during the same phase or same period of my life, think about me differently based on the experiences and situations we have been in together. So that doesn't change who I am. There are people who think that I'm the most beautiful and wonderful soul on this planet and I'm just an angel. But at the same time, there are people who don't think that great about me. And it has nothing to do about who I am as a person. I act in the way that feels right to me and that is consistent with my values and my beliefs. And people perceive me based on their points of reference, based on their beliefs and values about what is good and bad. They judge me and they put me in those boxes. So does it really matter? Because there are millions of people on this earth. There are thousands of people who have met me in my lifetime. There are hundreds of people that I come across every day as I'm like walking outside. I can't control or make sure that I am on their good side. And it's not my job to please others. It's not my job to make sure that people think of me in the good light. My job is to just act in a way that is true to myself, that is true to my values, my beliefs, and who I am as a person. I only care about people who matter the most to me, who love me unconditionally, who make my world brighter and wider, who make my life worth living. They are the only people whose thoughts actually matter to me, and because I know that they have good in heart for me. they're wishing well for me, they want good for me, and if they are saying something to me or if they are correcting me, it's for my own good. I only care about people whose lives reflect the values that I strive to live by. I was really surprised when I was reading the meditations how many times Marcus Aurelius was reminding us to not care about the opinions of people who are not wise and not relevant to us. Two quotes that felt extremely relevant, and especially to this conversation we are having. Number one, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Number two, let the opinion of those who hold you in no regard be of no regard to you. Again, so this goes back to the list we talked about, making the list of things and people that are important to you and only caring about those. Number two, why can't we just be okay with being disliked? Why do I need to make sure that everyone likes me? Because if everyone likes me, it means that I'm not being authentic to myself. It just means that I am putting on a mask of my personality that aligns with everyone around me. When out of 10 people, if 2 people like me and 8 people don't, that actually is a good thing, because it means that I'm staying true to myself and only people who like me are there with me and are by my side. And that's how you flourish and foster authentic and real connections. Only people that really value who you are. And I think it starts with just abandoning our need to be chosen, to be picked, to be accepted. Putting on a kind of facade or putting on a show and performance for people to like us, to pick us. Why do we need that? Honestly, just try this. It is so liberating when you can just walk into a room with no regard to what people think of you and their opinions of you. And especially if you walk into a room where you know that people don't appreciate you or have some complicated opinions of you, it is so liberating. It feels so powerful to just walk in there, being your best self, showing up as your best self, and having no regard to what they think. I think real confidence stems from within. From all the podcasts and conversations I have heard or read about real confidence, you can fake confidence in a lot of ways, by dressing nice, by presenting yourself nice, but real confidence stems from within. And again, this all ties back to the foundations, to the roots, to the idea of self-worth and being aware and clear about who you are and what you value the most in your life. Number 3, and I think I touched on it a little bit before, but this is a vicious cycle of chaos and doubt. It's never ending. Because say you find validation from others for something that you did, you feel great about yourself, you feel amazing, you feel good enough, and you feel confident. But then again, once that's done, you do something, you need something again. It's like this constant dose of validation that you keep seeking. It's never ending. And then the moment you don't get it, there is doubt that cripples in. There is imposter syndrome that cripples in. So it's a vicious cycle. And one of the ways you can actually get out of this endless loop is to stop telling people about every damn thing you're thinking about. Because every time you tell people about what you're thinking, you're feeling, and telling them about every action you took and every action you want to take, you are basically trying to seek validation and support and reaffirm that you did the right thing. But when you stop telling that and you actually just start asking yourself if you think you did the right thing, if you think you felt the right thing, I think you automatically get out that cycle. But that also does not mean that you're going to close yourself and not talk about things. Just make your circle smaller. Just limit yourself to one or two close people who you know have good in their heart for you. Maybe it's your parent, maybe it's a very close friend, maybe it's your therapist. You need to talk about your feelings, and you need to talk about what you're going through and have objective advice and perspective about things you are dealing with, because sometimes because we're only thinking about ourselves from our own perspective, it's easier to not be objective and be carried away with our emotions and thoughts. And so it's good to have help from others to process those things, but don't tell everything that you are dealing with to every random person you feel. And like, stop trauma dumping on strangers, and stop trauma dumping on people who you just met like 2 days ago or like made friends with them. I'm telling this to you as much as I'm telling this to myself, because I have a bad habit of oversharing sometimes. And when I make friends with someone and I feel more comfortable, I start sharing them about things, and then I start regretting about oversharing. And then I realize that I actually start looking for their validation. I'm just like adding one other person to this list of people that I go to for seeking validation. And I don't want that. One last thing that I would like to leave you with is, again, like I touched on before, caring about others and thinking about others' opinion is not in and itself a bad thing. It is natural and it's intuitive. And you don't need to beat yourself up for thinking about others and for caring too much about others and hurting yourself even more, because these are learned responses. The more you come across such situations and experiences, the more you learn how to deal with them, the more you learn how to deal with certain kinds of people, and you find out the best ways to make sure that you reach your full potential. I hope you learned something that stirred something new in you, and I'll see you again with another video.